that's just who we are. Baddest bitch for the weakest stuff. Baddest bitch, I'ma break her heart. Yeah, yes. Can't need that, fucking mad bitches. Yeah, I don't know about you. Yeah, you know what I do. Yeah, you know what I do. I'm chasing the money. I get to the digits. I'm fucking your girl and fucking your sister. I'm popping these pills. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, I fell asleep. Yeah, with money in my mind. Yeah, this whole let it keep. Yeah, bitch, is a line. Yeah, I got so damn high. I'm not from Earth, baby.
Cámbiate a Total by Verizon y disfruta aún más de tu verano. Ahora puedes obtener 50% de descuento en cualquier plan de teléfono de datos ilimitados. Eso es una línea por solo $25 al mes y te quedas con el teléfono que amas. ¡Apúrate! Es una oferta por tiempo limitado. Así que busca una tienda o cámbiate en totalbyverizon.com. Oferta termina 7/30/94. Promoción sujeta a cancelarse después de 12 meses. Disponible exclusivamente en línea y en tiendas Total by Verizon. Requiere una SIM y dispositivo desbloqueado compatibles. Revise en totalbyverizon.com la compatibilidad del dispositivo y detalles adicionales. Puede aplicar impuestos y cargos.
Watch the moon all the time. Yeah, they say we ain't got no time. Yeah, old motherfuckers talking about they prime. Yeah, oh she love me, now I think she out her mind. Yeah, right in front of my eyes all the time. I can't believe that I was blind. Yeah, got a lot to say, but you gon' keep it on your mind. She wanna read her mind. Yeah, she wanna read her mind. Yeah, she cute, but I don't think she mine. I ain't never around, I don't care, I think it's fine. Texting me at night, so I don't hear her cry. Yeah, I think that she love me, but I do not want to lie. I think that she love me, but I think she want me to lie. Say and watch the moon all the time. Yeah, they say we ain't got no time. Yeah, old motherfuckers talking about they prime. Yeah, oh she love me, now I think she out her mind. Yeah, right in front of my eyes all the time. I can't believe that I was blind. Yeah, got a lot to say, but you gon' keep it on your mind. She wanna read her mind, yeah, she wanna read her mind.
Says negative zero.
I'm missing nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Most of the time I'ma be somewhere else. Yeah, try to fuck us on my knees. Try to fuck her. I can't do it all by myself. We gon' let the dogs out. We gon' let the rock out. Yeah, I would hate me too. Yeah, we've come so far. I would hate to see you fall. I don't wanna miss your call, my baby. I would hate me too. I would hate me too. Why you act brand new? You a snake, I knew. Yeah, you love my crew, but I don't feel blue. Yeah. Said I don't feel blue. Yeah, baby, can you stop all the lies? Yeah, every time I see your eyes. Yeah, shawty really wanna lie right up on my bed. We can take it to the head. On my team staying fed, then I feeling what's in left. Family crying 'cause he's dead. Now it's done and it's said. Yeah, now it's done. Yeah. I don't miss a thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Most of the time I'ma be somewhere else. Yeah.
Says negative zero.
I'm missing nothing. I don't know not feeling what's in live. Family crying cause he's dead. Now it's done and it's said. Yeah, now it's done. Yeah, yeah.
What's going on, lads? Ladsy lassies, what's going on?
We're live from Georgia, a key battleground state in the race for the White House. In just moments,
get it
the
going.
current U.S. president
What
will
else we're
debate
waiting
the
for?
former U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees, a first in American history. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential debate.
This debate is being produced by CNN and is coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max, and CNN Espanol. This is a
I don't know if we
pivotal
listened to
moment
this. I didn't get a
between
chance to
President Joe Biden
listen to it
and former
yesterday,
President
so
Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's
better listen to it
highest
today.
office.
I'm gonna play
Each
some
will
Raft.
make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and
Crazy
1
though that
minute
they didn't
each
do
for
this live.
responses and rebuttals.
It was,
An additional minute for follow-up,
usually when we have
clarification, or
presidential
response
debates,
is
there's
at
a live
the
audience,
moderator's
so it's very
discretion.
odd that
When
they
it's
didn't
time
do that.
for a
So
candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone
That's
will be
interesting.
turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
my boy Joel. I don't know if you guys want to see the video. I can pull it up. Just let me know.
Look, I'll cut the malarkey.
Ah,
We're facing
come
a
on,
critical
brother.
fundraising
You're
deadline.
gonna give me an
The
ad
election
right in the
just
middle
around
of
the
the
corner.
debate, Biden. I don't like that. That's a point.
And please
Mine is a
welcome
point
the
for Biden.
45th President
Throwing
of
me
the
an
United
ad
States,
right mid debate.
Donald Trump.
My boy Donald, let's go.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs
Yeah,
more than
they're hitting me with the
$120.
hard-hitting question
And
right
typical
off the
home
rip,
prices
bro.
have jumped more than 30%.
Good stuff. Good
What do you
stuff.
say to voters who feel they are worse
Would love
off
to see
under
that.
your presidency than they were under President Trump?
Well, take a look at what I was left when I became president. What Mr. Trump left.
Big boy island.
We had an
right
economy that was increasing.
there. I don't know if I'm
The
ready for
pandemic
it.
was so badly handled.
To be completely
Many
honest
people
with
were
you guys.
dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach and it'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs, and we brought out a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm from a household where the kitchen table from being able to make the money was a problem. Basically, it was the best class, the best of every industry. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure we deal with those people. And we're going to make sure that we do face the problem. We're going to make sure we put together new units. We're going to make sure we track risk. Corporate greed can't take over. The combination of executive corporate greed that is in our organization. In addition to that, in a situation where if you have good corporate audit and time in this administration, you didn't do much at all. By the time we left, we didn't have plans. And so we put these back together and created ourselves a job to make sure we're in a situation where we now we've got things that are $15 for an insulin shot is good for $100. You see we have to pay more $200
Big island,
in a situation where we
mom, but I'm not ready for it. So this is boys and school. Down.
Thank you, President Obama.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never been so well. Everybody amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we didn't end up with the great inflation rates of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was happening good.
I'm a new guy. If you're afraid of Raft,
it's probably better than a mess. We had given them a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. Jobs are created with illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs. The bounce back from COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a good job in inflation. Still in our country. He's absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Obama.
Hey, you know what? I'll find some watermelon. Been very hydrated.
We find ourselves in a situation where his economy, when we look at it, there's a lot of responsibility for these people, teaching them dollars, you know, the deficit large money comes from having in the last year. Is the only thing that is the high church and the high last year is it's right here. The idea that we did something that is significant in the military. You know, when he was president, there was like killing people in Afghanistan. How many people we're still find ourselves in a position where you have a military, you know, this country. Truth is, the military is essential. It doesn't have any, this decade, any troops.
Whatever, might not really
Well, I'm going to ask you to follow up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming from the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't
10% seems viable.
It's just going to cause countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he repeated a statement that we really right about this. I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why you have all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, but he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. He inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan. We were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. We got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump's administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should entrepreneurs and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax code spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, we were so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, and we brought the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that, we took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. When the vaccine went out, he did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation. And it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, he got $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I want to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you did. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. That each state has a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. And the idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters. It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country. And they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have. Everybody wanted it brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician is making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true. Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board, at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, but it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed me, endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where, when he was president, he was separating the babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure that the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban. The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. All he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylums, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation, because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, they endorsed me for president. Random, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything across the border is one who came along and killed 3, and his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person coming in his administration, killed 3 American folks. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorists ever got through, but the idea we're emptying our prisons, we're welcoming people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything.
This isn't
He's the one that killed
Minecraft
people in the
footage.
bad water, including
Is
hundreds
Raft.
of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's
That's why I got
nest.
the
They're
watermelon
killing our people in New York,
I'm
in
dying.
California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And
It's
because
a pretty
of
impressive
his
debate
ridiculous,
though so far, 'cause
insane, and very stupid
the
policies,
2020 debate,
people are coming in
man,
and
they
they're
were
killing
coming
our
for Trump's
citizens
neck
at a level that we've never
heavy.
seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime.
pretty
They're
cordial
killing
on
our
both
citizens
sides.
at a level that we've
They're
never
asking
seen
Biden
before.
some pretty
And
hard-hitting
you're reading
questions
it
that
like these three
I
incredible
actually
young
didn't
girls
expect,
over the
you
last
know.
2 days.
I thought they were going to
One of
softball
them I
and
just spoke to the mother.
all the
And
questions, but
he just had a funeral for this girl,
Oh.
12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're
I'm
literally
trying not
an
to
uncivilized
talk
country
too much
now.
so you
He
guys
doesn't
can
want
listen
it to
to
be.
it.
He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, or we have to get them out fast, because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse.
I agree with that.
I had the highest approval rating for
We
veterans.
need to take care of our
taking care of
vets.
the VA.
Like that should
He
be
is the worst. He's gotten
that
rid
should
of
be
all the
a
things that I
massive
approved.
priority
Choice,
in
got
any
through
country,
Congress,
to be honest.
all of the different
Anybody's
things I
willing
approved,
to lay their life
they
down
abandoned.
for
We had by
for their
far the
nation.
highest, and now it's down in less
I mean,
than half, because he's done all these
that's an
great things
insane
that we
thing to
did.
even think
And I
about,
think
bro.
he
Like
did it
these
just
people
because I
are
approved it,
willing
which
to
is crazy.
die
But he has killed so many people at
for
our
our
border
freedoms
by
and
allowing
stuff.
all of these people to come in. And
President
it's a very
Biden.
sad day.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing you said is a lie.
Sad to know.
Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or Burn Pit, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, the group opposed that. We're also in a situation where
Russia.
we have great
In the
respect
last
for veterans. My son
Russia.
spent a year in Iraq, living right next door
I'm
to
biting
Burn.
my
Just came
words.
back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
What do I need to do next? I forget already. I need to build.
And I
Essentially,
spoke all about those
I'm not
experiences.
planting anything because
went
the
to the
seagulls
World
just
War
come
II
and attack
cemetery.
everything.
World War I cemetery refused to
But
go
supposedly if I
there. He was standing with his
put a
four-star
roof
general,
over it and then another
and he
roof to a
told me, he said, "I
two-story
don't want to
building
go
above
there
my
because they're a bunch of
crops,
losers and suckers."
then they can't
My
touch it.
son was
So
not a loser, was not a sucker.
something I
He was a
gotta work
sucker.
towards
Really.
here.
President Trump.
But oh yeah, my grill.
First of all, that was a made-up
finally
quote,
got a
Suckers and Losers. They made
nice
it up. It was
big
in a
grill.
third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taking better care. I'm so glad this came up. And he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken
big.
better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and
the
losers.
bed.
We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia
Like
was
that.
made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up,
Bed upstairs.
just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents
Is my
said
mic super
that
low?
the laptop was Russia disinformation.
Yeah,
It
let me
wasn't.
adjust
That
it.
came from his son Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me
Check,
right now.
check. Check.
Four-star general Sanders
All right.
said it was on your side.
Yeah.
Said you said it.
Should be
Period.
better. Let me know.
That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history.
Yeah, bro, that's tough, the age thing, but at the same time, I think the 35 rule is pretty reasonable, like,
Come home to their families,
especially when
and
you
cook when they go to war.
take into
That's
account
what we're
that,
doing.
like,
That's what the VA is
human
doing
brain
now.
doesn't fully develop till 25, and then 35 you have
All right. Thank you so much.
life experience, which is pretty important. Like, you want somebody with life experience, and I know it's tough, because, yeah, it's crazy to see somebody that's super old running the country, and, I mean, how many blunders have we seen from Biden because of his age? Kind of crazy, but I think the 35 rule is cool. You know who I really like is Vivek. Vivek Ramaswamy seems like he would be a cool,
Can't stand
like a
this
good
guy.
vice
They
president,
can't stand him.
or maybe
They think
a
he's the
attorney
worst
general. That'd
commander-in-chief,
be.
if that's what you
I
call
think
him.
he deserves a position
They'll be
in
very
office
bad.
if
They
Trump
can't stand him.
gets
So let's
elected.
get that straight. And they
And I
like
think
him
he'd
more
be a
than just
great
about any
future
of them.
candidate.
And that's based on
But
every single bit of information. As far as Russia
who knows?
and
Who
Ukraine,
knows, eh?
if we had a real president, the president that was respected by Putin, he would have never.
He said he was
never
respected
invaded
by
Ukraine.
Putin.
A lot of people are dead right now, much more
Oh,
than people
hell
know.
no.
You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those
He's just
numbers, maybe
told
triple
him,
those numbers.
Putin don't respect you,
He did
Biden.
nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he
Bro,
encouraged
Trump's
Russia
a
from
wild.
going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan.
That's
it
why
was
we love
such
him.
a horrible, embarrassing,
Wild
most
boy.
embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Uh,
That when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he
drink
should
some water.
have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general
It's
got
nice,
fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan.
first
where
pure
we
fire
had
you get in the
millions
game
of
only does
dollars
one
of
cup of
equipment
water.
we had. We lost 13 beautiful
Which is
soldiers,
tough.
and 38 soldiers were
Survive off
obliterated.
that,
And by
but
the way, we left
this one
people
doesn't
behind,
require
too. We
any
left
wood or
American
nothing,
citizens
just
behind.
glass.
When Putin saw that, he said, "You know what?
I don't know who
We're gonna
America
go
is.
in
I don't even know
and
who
maybe
you
take
are, my friend.
This was his dream. I talked
Just
to him about
put
his
mother,
dream. The difference is he
mother
never
on there.
would have invaded Ukraine. Never.
America. I don't know who that
Just
is.
like Israel would have never
I do
been
not
invaded
know.
in a million
To
years
be
by
completely
Hamas.
fair with you.
You know why? Because Iran
But
was
shout
broke
out for
with
hopping
me.
on.
I wouldn't
Appreciate
let
that.
anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all.
Mother been
during my
watching
administration.
my
This place, the whole world
channel
was
for a
blowing
very
up
long
under
time, though, way before I started streaming. So he's definitely an OG. Oh, look at that! Finally got the big grill, man. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I haven't seen Jimmy in a while. Jimmy's supposed to bite the Raft every 5 minutes. I haven't seen. There he is. Oh, he's coming pretty soon. He hadn't bit it in a while. What I gotta research. B jar. Don't know where to get that. Circuit board. A feather. Seaweed. I have some seaweed. Flippers. Oh, that's neat. Allows me to swim faster underwater. That's neat. I do need that. To be swimming all slow underwater. Get this water.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the area
I never met a smart person over 50. That's not true. I mean, I don't know if age plays a big part in that. I mean, look at even an easy comparison is you take Donald Trump and Joe Biden. They're very similar in age. I believe they're only 3 or 4 years difference between the two of them. And I mean, look at all the different crap that happens with Biden all the time. It's pretty. It's hysterical almost, It's a joke.
It should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
Yeah, mother, maybe you are. Maybe you are. I don't know. I don't know. I just wouldn't necessarily restrict age to anything necessarily. Like, there's dumb young people, there's dumb old people, and the other way around, So smart young people and smart old people, I don't necessarily think age plays a massive part. Obviously it does to a degree, but I don't think it's that big. Whip it out. Whip what out, my friend? Whip what out? Talking about the recycle collector here. But this game is a bunch of fun, but so hard to play it to progress on your own because you gotta like monitor everything. You gotta defend the raft, you gotta cook, drink, as well as obviously trying to progress.
Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a
Kind of a pain in the butt, but
President Biden
it is what it is.
put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far,
Oh, I can make a circuit board. Okay, so I need to make one of those, as well as 6 pieces of clay. How many do I have? I gotta make enough of these, I guess.
Security Council, straight through the G7, the Israelis and Hitler himself have endorsed the plan. It's just 3 stages. The first stage is free hostages or a ceasefire. The second phase is a ceasefire with witness recognition. The third phase is no, the end of the war. No one wants the war to continue as was. And no one wants to start pushing back. I
think it's time has come to expand a little wider. Alright.
By the way, I'm the guy that organized the war against Israel on Israel.
I literally just tried something earlier to remove the delay. Watched a little tutorial on it. They're supposed to remove the delay to 1 second, but for some reason, man, I'm gonna have to do more research and kind of mess around with the settings and whatnot. But I literally was just messing with that because that was an issue somebody was having last stream. But also, to be fair, I don't really pay attention to the comments as much just because I'm not used to the 2 screens. Just not a good enough excuse, but yeah, I'm just not used to looking at that second screen and you guys be commenting, and I don't notice for a while.
They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting old. You gotta ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You gotta ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
You say he's a bad Palestinian? Oh hell no! Yeah, Hunter Biden 2024. Yeah, I don't even know if they'd let him run. That fool's crazy. That guy is a little crazy. I'll mess with the settings more. I don't know when, but maybe next time I try to fire it up. But yeah, I messed with the settings and it essentially said I had a 20-second delay, so I changed that to a 1-second delay, but it didn't change much, so I might have to mess with my latency settings. Although, like, my latency is maxed out because I can afford it. My internet's so good. I can essentially run like 22,000, but I'm running it at 8,000, so we should have absolutely 0 issues, but it still does. So that's something I'm gonna have to mess around with. So for now, you're gonna have to deal with this. But I will work on that, guys, for sure. I will look into that further and make sure it's perfect. Because I like talking to you guys.
They're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size.
Bro, it's dying over here.
And they were no cars.
See, bro, like I do a couple things, boom, I'm starving to death. I ain't paying attention, you know.
I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can
At least,
play games with
very
NATO
least, I need
is because I
to.
got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars.
I need to focus on
and
my
he's right about this. I
smelting.
said, no, I'm not going
I
to
only have
support
one
NATO if you
smelter
don't
so
pay.
far, so
They
that
asked me that question, would you guard
slows
us
me
against
down a
Russia?
bit.
At a very secret meeting of the 28
Plus, I'm a neat
states
freak
at
and I
that
like to
time,
organize everything,
nations
which,
at that time. And they said,
not
no,
gonna
if you
lie,
don't
also
pay,
wastes
I won't do that. And you know what
a
happened?
lot of time.
Billions and billions
I
of
don't know if
dollars
it's
came flowing in the next day and the
worth
next
the
month.
precious seconds.
But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody
Whoa.
bills.
Let's
Trash
turn to the issue of
can.
democracy. Former
These supposed to
President
dry
Trump,
out, and then I can
wanna
make
ask you
a.
about January 6, 2021.
I
After
can make
you rallied
another
your supporters
smelter.
that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest
We got
taxes
smelter
ever. We
number
had the lowest
2.
regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and
Where's
square.
that circuit at?
You have 80 seconds left. My
I need
question
2 pieces
was,
of coppers,
what do you say
1
to
piece
those
of
voters
glue.
who believe that you
Fire
violated your
that.
constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary
Gotta
filmmaker,
move
they
this
say. But
stuff
she's
around.
saying, oh no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this.
I should
Because
craft
I
a water
offered
bottle
10,000
too.
soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down. The mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see. I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there.
I need to
And
grow
I said,
crops.
you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it.
Even
You
with
could
these
feel
birds
it too,
coming
and
right
you could
now,
feel it.
I need
And I
to
said, they ought to have some
kind
National
of
Guard
pain
or
myself.
whatever. And I offered it to her,
Gotta
and she
guard 'em.
now admits
Gotta
that
guard
she turned
them.
it down. And it was the same day she
Whatever,
was,
grow some
I don't know,
potatoes.
she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility
Yeah.
for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up and capture Hill, number one. I sat
Oh.
behind him off the Oval Office. He said
Biden
for 3
sound
hours,
crazy right now.
3
Sound like
hours
a
watching,
sound like you have a
begging,
coke
begging
baby.
by his vice president and a number of his colleagues and Republicans all across
I want
do
to say
something.
bad stuff about
Call for
anybody
stop,
because
to end it. Instead, he talked about these people
we're all
being
human.
patriots
We all got
and
issues,
being
you
great
know. But
patriots of America. In fact,
come on,
he
Mr.
says
Mr.
he wants to
Biden,
forgive them for what they do. Well, they've been
suck her
convicted.
up.
He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that, no,
Man, we're
he
gonna
went to every
plant
single
some
court in the nation.
watermelons.
I don't know how many cases,
These
scores
are
of cases.
phenomenal
in the
for
Supreme Court.
hydrating.
And they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what that was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out, and now he says that he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that there could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed.
Mr. Trump's
When you
spitting
look at
facts
all-
over here.
They took over big chunks of Seattle. We were all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The unselected
Get
committee,
it out of
which is
here.
basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is Manny Wicked.
Damn, I knew they were gonna pull that card for sure.
Simply not true.
For sure, because I feel like that whole trial was literally just so that they can be able to say, hey, you're a felon.
Everyone will be convicted. Deserves
Type
to be convicted.
crap, you know?
The idea that they didn't kill somebody just when they broke down the door, broke the window,
Like literally did that whole trial just so they can say, oh yeah, you're a felon, buddy.
turn over statutes.
What you talking about, you felon?
Those people are patriots. When I asked them the question,
Fighting for almost the real though.
first time around, I said, "Will you denounce the card game?" He said, "No, I'll tell them to stand by." And I did, he's refusing to denounce these guys, to denounce the people we're talking about now, to denounce the people who attacked that topic. What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if re-elected, you would, quote, have every right to go after your political opponents. You just talked about members of the select committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponent?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again because right now it's a bad nation. My retribution is going to be success.
Donald,
Well, when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level.
Bet, bro. I'll get on the finals after the debate, though. 'Cause I wanna listen to it. If we get on finals, I'm gonna be distracted.
But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office.
I really want to hear this.
With all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death laws of the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to grab $1 billion, you're going to change the prosecutor, otherwise you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's good. No, but we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with his son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong.
Bet. We'll run after we'll run after this debate. Let me see how much is left. There's about, let's see, 1:30. About 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes left. Nah, I work tomorrow, bro. This week I'm off Thursday, Friday. We'll definitely have a stream day of the finals, because I still gotta grind so much in that game, bro. I'm like really behind. The mechanics in this game. I need like a pillar somewhere here to. Come on, my friend.
I didn't have sex with a green son, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved a high-ranking official of DOJ into the DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very
Hey, get out of here!
Democrat who prosecuted were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought he was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when he found out about these cases, you know what they did? My phone numbers went up way up. That was you reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken hundreds of millions of dollars going in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And he's got more proof. He's got a lot of cases now that are coming out. He got 20 million issues.
sounds like enough steel. I can fortify this and then
You can never think you're hearing what
stop fighting Jimmy.
We thought Hitler's some good ideas. What got me involved in the first place, that place in God had decided in Iraq because of Iraq. I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and seeing the same anti-Semitic file they sang when back in Germany. And and the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people who the ones got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the one he said, I think they're fine people on both sides." What American president would ever say? Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic file, carrying swastikas. They're fine people. This is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. Good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense for
I can't fill in this gap. Not gonna let me. Structure in this game. I can't just float the blocks. Kind of annoying. Jimmy.
He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know this ridiculous.
He said he ain't equipped. You know it and I know it, my boy said. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. And you'll see it's really, he made it. And just the other day it came out that it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't know because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to debunk. Happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. Antenna, receiver, I need to build all these things. Waters your crops automatically, seems to be missing a battery though, okay. And the juicer combines base foods into amazing drinks. Alright, neat. Cool.
He's talking about all this being fabricated. We saw it online, we saw it happening in Germany, we saw people occupying it.
Give me my watermelons. I can't even climb out of there, for real? For real? Oh, my trap? Dang, bro. You doing me dirty like that? Yeah, I still got a lot to learn in this game. You see some of these pro Raft players, man, they build incredible, like, big old, like, pirate ships and stuff, man. It's kind of wild, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not at that level yet. Those guys are on a different level. Sucks, dude, when you build something and then you break it, you don't get back all the resources that you use, so either build smart or you're potentially gonna lose some resources, which is annoying. Because clearly we're floating middle ocean, resources are vital. Okay, well what happened? What happened, my boy? I'm just gonna sit here? Alright. That's a live debate, so
being able to have something to always protect myself with this Berna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter.
Welcome back to the CNN presidential debate.
Thank you for having us back. Yup. Let's do it.
Challenges you both faced in your first terms, and you'd certainly face again in the second.
I'm gonna hit that if we don't paddle away.
Presidency, black
Oh,
families
snap.
still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still
Jimmy gonna cover
more
me.
likely to die of pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are in prison at
$1 billion are made a lot of times. Fact of the matter is, the more small black businesses that have started in the last 3 years. Number two, the rate of black unemployment is the lowest ever been in a very long time. Number three, the private housing and the segregation that exists in these
Trump's like, they're kind of like struggling to talk right now, bro.
in addition to that,
Wow.
I find that the impact of the
All that loot down there.
choice that black families have to make relative to child care.
I need to expand the raft right now, so I'm not
We
gonna,
did the first major piece of legislation
not going to
passed.
focus
Also
on all that.
reduce black child care
Supposedly,
costs. We cut them in half. We're going to make sure we provide for child care costs. We're going to make sure that because we provide those child care protections, we increase economic growth, more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've
supposedly,
done so
if you
far,
build
but not been
a
enough.
wall and then build
You have 49
triangle
seconds left.
roofs instead
What
of
do you
square
say to
roofs,
black
and then break the
voters
wall,
who are disappointed
they're
with the
supposed to stay in
progress
place.
I say I don't
Obviously,
think we disappoint.
I don't know for
Inflation
sure.
is still
That's
hurting
just
badly. For example,
something I
provided for
read
the
online.
idea that any black family,
I need to fill in this
first-time
gap.
home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home, so they can
Top
get
of
started.
that,
I made sure that when a
put
situation
some
where
corners on
both
here.
black families and
Oh, that
black
one doesn't need it.
provided to have to take out student
No,
loans,
there's no building that direction.
that if they were engaged in
But
nursing,
maybe I should
and
bring it out.
and
Nah, it's alright for now.
having to do with volunteerism.
Alright,
If they paid their bills for 10 years and their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a
regular
whole lot
wall
more for
there,
black families.
Thank you,
and
President Trump.
then
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation,
if I
and it's
can-
killing black
let's see if
families
this little
and
trick
Hispanic
works, 'cause if
families
it
and
does,
just about everybody.
I
It's
will be
killing people. They
super
can't
happy.
buy groceries anymore. They can't.
Alright.
You look at the cost
Now,
of food.
in
where it's
theory,
doubled,
you break these
tripled,
walls,
and quadrupled. They
those should
can't
stay.
live. They're
Nice,
living in-
nice.
He caused this inflation.
Let's
I gave
go,
him a
Jimmy.
country with no essentially
my
no
raft
inflation.
slowly,
It was
man.
perfect. It was so good. All he had to do was
Slowly
leave it
gobbling
alone.
it up.
He destroyed it with his Green New Scam and all of the other, all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now. And it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs. And you haven't seen it yet,
Take an
but you're going to
even
see
number.
something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden.
There was no
That
inflation
way.
when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on
Wow.
its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy. Absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. Provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that the $8,000 per person in the family get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again. And they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the
Can I get that
idea
other one?
that we're not doing it, we put more police on the street. than
Too
any
late, my boy.
administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on. And the inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you.
No.
Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Let me just go back to what he said about the police. How close the police are there. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the
Alright,
black
I'm gonna do-
population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was
This is
his
going
name.
ham
And he
right now.
called it to them, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform
Come
and for
on,
the historically black
Copy
colleges
my
and
Raft.
universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones, and the biggest beneficiary are blacks, and that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning here, ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population
Easy money.
because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You 38 seconds left, President Trump. Will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that he says is true. I've passed the most
Bro,
extensive,
why Biden sound like
most
he gotta
extensive
catch his
climate
breath,
change
bro?
legislation in history. In history. We found out
Like he
something, by
just
the way,
jogged a couple
colleges.
laps or
I
something.
came up with $50 billion
I mean,
for
I get it,
HBCUs,
he's old, but
historic black universities
they're
and
just
colleges.
they're just
Because they don't
standing there.
They don't have the kind of
They ain't really
opportunity
doing much of
they
anything.
have to build these laboratories and all that. Any black student is capable of college of doing any white student can do. He just doesn't have the money, but now to be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something to have cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing in the environment. He, the Paris Peace Accord, commented on it. I immediately joined it.
But I kind of
Because
feel
if we
bad
really
for Biden. He's like,
1.5 degrees Celsius, and then he went, there's no way back.
I mean, he's not completely
It's climate change.
irrational. His
He didn't do a
thoughts
damn thing
seem
about it, and that's gonna do all the work.
decently like put together,
The Paris
but
Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing,
A little
and Russia
bit, like,
nothing, and India nothing.
lagging.
It was a rip-off of the United States.
I don't know how else
And
to say
I
that.
ended it because I didn't want to waste that
No,
money.
he seems a
because
little
they treat
off.
us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it, and it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones
Got
that consequences. We're not.
Heck of
We're
palm
not
leaves,
on
so
the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to? The United States can't
might as
get
well use them up.
under control. One of the largest polluters in the world. Number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We've made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate plan for thousands of young people to learn how to deal with them, just like the Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
So every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck, and I'm the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that I'm proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or was that one enough?
Well, no, that solvent. The biggest thing I'll do is we defeat this man because he wants to get.
He said defeat this man.
There's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social
Bro,
Security.
it ain't a fist fight, my boy.
And if you look at the program put forward by the House,
I get it, he's your opponent, but you ain't gonna throw down or nothing.
The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA, as I said, we're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is, we're in a situation where we talk about education for black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants under $80,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year can be able to get $15,000 towards the tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen anything look
I ain't seen everybody lie like this guy. Oh my goodness.
We mentioned the laptop, we mentioned Russia, Ukraine. And everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up, it's a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it. Because
nice. I can actually
and they're putting them onto Social Security, they're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid, they're putting them in our hospitals.
That's neat.
They're taking the place of our citizens there.
Okay, I like that.
What they're doing to the VA,
Didn't know I can do that.
It's unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden.
The idea that veterans will not be taken care of, I told you before. By the way, he said something in the he said, when he got executive, he fired that gentleman. That gentleman got fired because he's the one that told me that that's what he said. Who's the one standing there when he said it? Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all of these millions and millions of people
get a second purifier. Cost me for glass. I don't think I have sand. No? How do you know if it's a
And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates that talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates promised, like I said, that if Trump were to have a recession, and inflation is going to increase again. And by the way, worst president history, 159 American scholars voted for him the worst president in history.
Learn to flag.
Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this. But the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to your child from one abortion?
The general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than that. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired me. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, Randy Swamp. They were no good. I always did fire people. We paid a price for it, but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fired me. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us at the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He's the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. Look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal. And it reduced a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this wreck. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He's the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Biden.
We're the most admired country in the world, in the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We're the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks of it. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're talking about worst presidents, I wasn't joking. Look it up online. 159 and 58 or 100 exact number. Presidential historians, they had meetings and they voted. He was the worst president in American history. The one who took best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. You can argue they're wrong, but that's what they vote. The idea that he is going to do anything to deal with child care. He did virtually nothing with child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men, of single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to hold just so you understand, in the polls we have other things that they rate me because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best.
He said, show me. His mic's off so you can like barely hear it.
I will be the best. I think I'll be the best.
Show me.
Nobody's ever...
I'll show you, Joe.
Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one who wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He
there's a
wants
whale.
the tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two
I don't
of
think
you,
he attacks or anything, but
nobody ever knew this before. All my life I grow up and I see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about he's increasing, he will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I never raised the taxes on anyone less than 25%. And he did. He is tariff, it's 10% tariff. Everything put in the country, you know what Congress said? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all of the things that are important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised.
interesting that those two stayed up, but
Middle class is devastated.
no.
Okay,
so
$5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. We have the largest deficit of any president in American history. Number one. Number two, we have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest deficit of China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans. The both of you have
The
made
camera's
a top
right
priority
there.
in your first term. The opioid crisis.
Just zoomed in on me.
The number
Takes
of
a second
overdose
too, it's
deaths
a
in
delay.
this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit
I
in the
either
history of
keep
our
that
country
post
under this
there.
guy.
I don't
We have
mind
the
that.
largest
Low key.
deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come. But he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country.
Running out of wood quickly.
The worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them
Everything
to
needs
do what
wood.
they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we're doing very well in addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough, and it was the drugs pouring across the border where it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking
Now
in
that
women
should stay.
coming across our border.
There we
the
go.
worst thing
Nice.
I've ever seen. At numbers
All
that
right,
nobody's
money.
ever seen
My
under
bedroom.
him because the
My new
border's so
bedroom
bad.
here.
But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden.
Fentanyl and byproduct fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure
Drink
you use
some
a
water.
machine that can detect fentanyl. These big machines that roll over and come across the border.
Watermelons are
And it
just
costs a
better.
lot of money. That was part of this
I
too.
use my water to hydrate
More fentanyl
the
machines, more be able to detect drugs.
the growing of the
more
watermelons.
numbers of
So
agents,
obviously,
more numbers of all
obviously more useful
and
for
when we
me.
had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues and said, don't do it.
Then I'll
It's
put
going to hurt me.
my
He never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl, and Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need
Money.
those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the treatment they need.
This does pertain. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump.
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
First of all, I've been half my career
Yeah, the sharks are cracking. I already know.
politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's still younger and a lot less competent. I think that this
Now,
look what I've done.
seagulls
I've turned
shouldn't
around a
attack,
horrible situation.
theoretically.
As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs.
Dang, 8
More
scrap?
investment in America. Over
8 scrap is wild. I don't have that much scrap. I don't even have enough for a regular torch.
We are growing. By the way, we brought all our
Oh,
people.
streamlines.
Well,
That's
the
it.
whole idea
I make
of
some
computer chips. We said 40% of the market.
plastic.
We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending
I need
people
rope.
to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to do a hundred product. So I went to South Korea and convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And then, guess what? Those fabs, they call them, to build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have
Not that
40
bright,
seconds left.
honestly.
Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The
Thought-
idea
thought
that
that would've been
somehow we are
brighter.
this failing country. Never heard a president talk like
It
this.
isn't.
We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America. All our problems and all our opportunities.
Yeah, that doesn't
We're
give
the
me
most
like any
progressive country
light
in the world
at
to get
all.
things done. We're the
It's like
strongest
more of
country in
a
the world. We're a country in the world that keeps our
aesthetic,
word,
I guess.
and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he follows up to. Kim Jong-un, we sent love letters to, and Putin, etc.
What did he say?
They
Love
know what's
letters
going
too.
Thank you. Former President Trump,
But to be
follow up,
fair,
you
what
would be
Donald
82
Trump did
at
by
the
going
end
to
of
Korea
your
was
second term.
wasn't
What do
insane.
you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
You can't hear
Well,
me,
I
though?
took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I
What do I think about the
both
debate?
of them, as you know. Debated public.
I don't know.
Took
I
one.
think
I'd like to
it's
see him take one, just one. A real easy
it's
one.
pretty fair. I mean,
There's no questions he couldn't do.
especially compared to the
But I took
2020
2
debate.
cognitive tests. I
They were
took
like
physical
attacking
exams every
Trump,
year.
and now it seems like they're
And you know,
being
knock
pretty
on
fair to
wood,
both
wherever we
sides,
have
which
wood,
is cool to see.
that I'm in very good health. I just won 2
Um,
championships, not even senior.
I don't know.
2
I'm pretty
regular
biased because
championships.
I'm
To do that, you have to be
more
quite
conservative.
smart, and you have to be able
But
to hit the ball a long way.
I think
and
it's
do it.
it's
He
been
doesn't do it. He can't hit the
fair,
ball 50 yards. He
and
challenged me to a golf match. He
the
said, "Hit the ball
interviewers
50
haven't been
yards."
really biased, which
I think
is
I'm in
good
very
to see.
shape. I feel that I'm
And they're
in
asking
good
hard-hitting
shape as
questions
was
that
25,
I
30
honestly
years
would
ago.
not have
Actually, I'm probably
expected
a little bit lighter,
them to ask
but I'm
Biden,
in as good a shape as
seeing
I
as they
was
usually cover up for him
years ago.
in
I feel very good. I feel
everything
the same.
that he ever
But
does.
I was willing to take a cognitive
So,
test.
no,
And
it's
you know
pretty
what? I
interesting.
didn't do well. I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar
Man, do I
one.
need another
And
storage
one
already?
of them said they'd never seen anybody ace it.
Let's see.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can
I don't
see
have
he
scrap,
is
bro. I'm
65 and
literally
only
running low of
23
scrap, and
pounds.
that
Which
doesn't
makes him
can't find that in the sea. So
Well,
you,
he said 6'4".
I have to pull up to my next
Well,
island
I
and
think
collect scrap.
Just take a look
Oh
at
yeah, you
what
can
he
get it
says
out
he
the
is.
barrels.
Take a look at what he is.
Still
I'd be happy
probably
to have
not
driving contests with him.
nearly as good.
When I was vice president, down to a 6.
Let's see, can I put
Yeah,
it?
but by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
It was a 6 handicap.
That's
of
the
all.
biggest
I was
one.
an 8 handicap. 8.
Now he's just talking crap about his golf game, which is hysterical.
Okay, let's do it.
Two rich white guys talking about you suck at golf. No, you suck at golf.
To a specific concern
Oh hell no.
that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will
Yeah,
accept
I don't. I need
the results
I
of
need
this
another
election,
chest.
regardless of who wins? And
Because I
you
can
will say
start
right now
putting
that
it.
political violence in any form is
But
unacceptable.
realistically,
Well,
let's
I
just
shouldn't
make
have to
let's
say
just
that, but of course I believe that.
make
It's
a
totally
bunch of
unacceptable.
rope with what I
And
got
if you
in.
would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made, in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd have my
Jimmy.
places with very nice
Oh,
house. I wouldn't
yeah.
be under indictment because
I knew that was
was
gonna
a
break
political
at
you
some
know,
point.
opponent. Because he indicted me
There it goes.
because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad
Basically,
as a president.
the crops shouldn't
that
be
I'm gonna
messed
make
with, even
America
if I don't
great
have
again.
walls,
We're gonna
as long as
make
there's
America great
two
again.
ceilings.
We're a failing nation.
Can you hear me
now.
better
We're
now?
a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation.
I adjusted
because
the
of him.
mic.
His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never
Rug?
end with
What I
him.
need a rug
He
for?
will drive us into World War III, and
Another
we're closer
rug.
to
I just
World War III
learned two
than
different
anybody
rugs.
can imagine. We are very, very
Recipes.
close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this
Well,
gentleman.
that's funny when
and
he
he's
said
gonna
that.
drive us into World
Putin ain't
War
scared
III.
of you, Joe.
You want a World War III.
I mean, fair enough. It's.
But you
I don't disagree.
Say do what you want.
I don't think.
Just do what you want.
I think
Article
any
5,
leader is
attack
really
online,
threatened by
attack
him,
all, required
which isn't a
response.
good thing.
The
He's the leader of
idea.
the
I
greatest
can't think of
nation
a
in the
single
world.
nation in the world who wouldn't trade
They
people
shouldn't.
with
They
all
shouldn't
that
just
what they've done.
be able to
Because
do
we're a
the
powerful
stuff they
nation.
do.
We have
You know.
wonderful- It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They can't do anything. They
I
step
need to
up
do
when
that.
needed.
I need to get.
And right now, we're needed.
I need to craft
We need it to
a
protect
spear
the world,
because
because we're all safe
Jimmy
and
come
safe.
back.
And again, we want to
That's
have
a
war.
wrap for me.
Just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens with Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then we have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you
That
for
is,
a follow-up, the question was,
my
will
first
you
metal
accept
spear
the results of this election?
of the whole gameplay since I
Just to
started.
finish
So
what you said,
that's
if I
exciting.
might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. Not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here.
Oh, can I seriously
That's a
plant
war that should have
potatoes in
never
there?
started.
Nah, I don't want
Would
to.
have never started ever.
Ay, that's
with me.
annoying. Maybe I
And
get
he's going to take
more
Ukraine. And you know, you asked
potatoes
the
from
question
it.
before, would you
I
do
better.
this one? He's got us in such a bad
Bigger,
position right now
bigger
with Ukraine
plot.
and Russia. Because Ukraine's
Five
not winning
five
that war.
glasses of cup,
He said, I will never settle until
glasses of
such
water
time.
you get from
They're
this.
running out of people. They're running
Boy,
out of soldiers.
just
They've lost
really
so many
great.
people. It's so sad.
Can build a new
They've
one,
lost
plenty
so
of
many
sand.
people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid
I'm gonna use
decisions.
my old
Russia
purifiers,
would have never
alright.
attacked. if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was,
Decent.
will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very
where we
happy
put
to
this
be
guy?
someplace else, in a nice
Alright,
location
yeah.
someplace. And again, no indictments.
Probably not a good idea
no
if Jimmy
political
comes for
opponent
those
stuff,
blocks.
because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up
They
by
will
numbers
break.
and driven them up to a very high level.
That's pretty
because the
cheap
people
actually
understand
to
it.
fortify that.
Let's see what your numbers are
I mean,
when
it's
the selection is over.
not super cheap, but
Let's see. You're a whiner.
definitely didn't think
You
it was
lost
gonna be
the
that
first
cheap.
time. You continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or
I need to
local.
go. I need to build another one of these.
That you continue
That
to
thing's been
develop
coming in clutch.
this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation.
That
all
first
this stealing.
purifier only gives you
There's
one
no
glass at a
evidence
time,
at
and it's
all.
way slower.
And I tell you
That
what,
gives me
I
5.
doubt we would
That's
accept it because you're such a whiner.
like that's a
The idea if you do it
big
again, you
come
accept
up
it
for me.
You can't stand loss.
The pace that was going. He said
We'll be
so.
right
Snapped
back.
at you.
With more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
Something snapped in you. I'm running out of space again. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I hear him. Where is he? Oh, the scarecrow didn't break. We're gonna take a little break from that too. I mean, whenever it goes back on, I'm not gonna skip it this time. Just let it play through how it was. Whatever little break they took there, we'll take a little break. Listen to the calming sounds of the ocean. Oh, I learned the sofa, how to make the sofa. Chairs, bathtub, outhouse. There's a lot of stuff in this game. It's kind of wild. I don't see the sofa that we just learned. Shelf, motivational quote. Huh. All the decorative stuff, so it would be here. Strange. In fact, I'm pretty sure I learned a bed as well. At some point I got the crafting recipe for a bed. Huh. Maybe it takes a second to like get in there or something. I don't know. Strange. Anyways, we need heck of scrap. I don't know if I should pull up. Nah, we're too far already. Too far from that island.
We've made significant progress.
See, I skipped it a little bit. It's almost over.
It is now time for the candidates to deliver their closing statements as predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
We've made significant
Is he lagging? What happened this
The
thing?
debacle that was left by President Trump.
We'll hit that island up
last
there.
year. We're ourselves in a situation where, number one,
Smack this
we
around
have
here.
to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this video, I think the tax system is fair. The fact is that I said nobody making over $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes in their money. And if I'm re-elected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes in the United States of America. What I did.
The tariff isn't gonna tax the American people though. What are you talking about, bro? It's gonna tax countries trying to sell here. Any international countries.
Big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35. Incidents of $15, no more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter what how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices.
Well, what is bro talking about?
Every senior, all along what's happening now, and everybody in America who wants to get rid of that. We are going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care.
Kind of want to hit that on
what we're doing
reality though.
lead pipes and all things.
Build, see if we can
People across the country.
build another anchor. Well, a nice anchor.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes.
The one anchor that you can get beginning of the game
You're struggling to
is
focus.
a one-time use.
This is your brain. when you're in the zone.
Okay, so
But
that's what
getting in the
this
zone and
big old
staying
thing
there,
was I seen.
that feels more like luck than something
Okay,
you can
bet that.
control.
Okay,
So
so
that's why we made
where do
Brain
we want
FM.
this?
It's like a do not disturb setting for your mind, and it gets you focused
Thinking
in
maybe
just 5
put it
minutes using
somewhere at the
science
front of
and
the raft
sound.
here.
Brain FM guides your brainwaves into an optimal
let's
state for
see.
productivity called neural phase
1, 2,
locking,
3,
which lets
4,
different
5,
parts of
6,
your brain work
7,
together more
8,
easily.
9, 10, 11,
Compared to average
12.
music, Brain FM actually increases and
It's an even
sustains
number.
your focus over time, letting you stay
I
in
made
the
it an
zone
even
for
number.
as long as you want. You can also use Brain FM
I
for
forgot about
relaxation,
that.
meditation,
Where do I
and
want
even
this
sleep.
anchor to?
But don't take our word for it. Join
Realistically,
millions of others and try it yourself for free and see what you can do with Brain FM.
yeah, it's an odd. I wish I had a center point. I don't have a center point. So make that end of the boat perfectly equal. I mean,
Get online in minutes. Web.com's AI Builder makes it easy. Simply tell us some info about your brand, and in a minute, the AI Builder designs an eye-catching website to showcase your idea. Wherever you are,
build
you
an
can use
offset
our
and
AI
then
tools
build an
to
offset.
easily write copy for your website, social media, email marketing, and
That'll
more.
allow
Our
me to
AI
build
Builder
another
takes the
selection
guesswork
there.
out of launching a website, so you can focus on what's important to you. Head to web.com and let our AI
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to do this, that. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our
wanna
country
get rid
look
of
safe.
this.
Millions and millions of people are dead. Our military doesn't respect them. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He comes with all the stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. We talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times Charlottesville. The whole country is exploding because of you. Because they don't respect you. And they have to respect the president. And they don't respect you throughout the
7, that
world.
should be centered
What
there.
we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs. But he's putting a
1,
lot of
2,
those
3,
regulations
4,
back
5,
on.
6, 7.
All of the things that we've done,
That's our
nobody's ever
century.
seen. We've never seen anything like, even from the medical center, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're criminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, for our soldiers. Instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves and they're living. That's why they have the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden.
Oh, like
It's
it.
a psychological interview that you're doing. You're sort of being my psychiatrist. I've watched your show a lot over the years. See people break down, and they start crying and they start, I said, that's never happened to me.
There's an addiction
Hold
to
on.
revenge. Nobody would fall.
We just started a new video. Does Biden not have his own statement?
We got the largest tax cut in history,
Let's
the
see.
largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs. But he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. So all the things that we've done, nobody's ever seen. We've never seen anything like, even from the medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our
Now I
soldiers,
gotta
for our
anchor
soldiers.
that.
Instead of waiting
It's
for
not
3
just a
months to see a
one-time
doctor,
use.
can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves.
I'm trying to
and
fight
they're
Jimmy
living.
right
That's
now.
why they have the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're a failing
We
nation.
gotta figure out
It's
how
not
to
going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
fence.
Thank you, former President
That's
Trump,
what I want.
President Biden.
adventure boat. And that's just how it ends, I guess. It just literally just stops right there. A very awkward ending. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, that was an interesting debate. I don't know what else to say about that. That was, I mean, that's what it was, I guess. Gonna deforest this whole game, but just keep running out of wood. Alright, so I can't fall off of that. That's actually neat. I can't just fall off accidentally. I'm not obsessed with that like little strange edge there, but it is what it is for now. Do gotta get scrap. I got a lot of stuff to grind, and that's not happening today. And we progressed pretty well today. I'm pretty happy. There's an island. Maybe we anchor there, and then we'll end stream. Shout out to everybody hopped in. I know there's not that many people at once, but we had 66 people come by and stop by and say what's up, so that's cool. I appreciate all you folks. If you guys like that political stuff, I absolutely love it, and I listen to it all the time. And if it's something you guys like, let me know. We can literally stream some games and listen to Timcast or PBD or something, and I'd enjoy it. I mean, I listen to them all the time by myself, so I don't see why this would be any different. So if you guys enjoy that, yeah, let me know. Let me know. We can do that. We can do some more of that. It's not a political channel by any means, but I do like learning about all that stuff, especially being here in America, man. I love this country, and it's done a lot of stuff for my family, so. Oh, this is so dope. Every time before this anchor, I had to build an anchor, and it was a one-time use only, which was extremely annoying, because every single time you gotta just spend more of your, scrap or whatever it may be, just to anchor. Now I can just do it whenever I want, which is awesome. Put some plastic in there. Palm leaves. I got a lot of palm leaves. I think I might have to. I want to hoard it all, because I'm just a hoarder like that, and it's gonna come in handy one day. But I might also just start using it to build, because you can build with it. These like green walls, like that. Or you can do wooden walls, but wood, it seems to be that I run through wood way faster than I do through these palm leaves. Sure, only other use is rope. So, gotta stock up on some more metal as well. Yeah, see, I only have 4 rope. Rope is pretty useful, so I'm gonna craft a bunch of rope. Money. That was it, bro. 20 rope from 17. Almost 3 stacks of palm leaves, though. You guys out of planks? What's going on? No, they're good. They're cooking. This is neat. I'm super happy about this. No more temporary ones. Finally, a proper anchor. That is cool. don't know what I want to do with this design. Maybe we, at least for now, just change these to corners. It'll kind of smoothen out the design. But realistically, I'll be expanding this thing a lot in the future because this is small production, just 2 furnaces and one grill, 1 purifier. Anyways, guys, shout out to anybody who joined the stream. Shout out to all you guys. I appreciate the like. I appreciate the share. Subscribe if you're not. Most of you guys are, but I'll be doing this more often now that I got this set up. And any criticism, advice of the stream to make it better, let me know. Comment, or if you know me, just directly DM me or whatnot, and we'll figure it out. So, I'm clocking out, and I will see you guys on the next one, whenever that'll be. So, later.